Full time, Arsenal 2, Everton 0. Guys, if you watched my match preview, I told you it's not going to be an easy game. And you're going to hate to see it because Arsenal scored its first goal in the 89th minute, guys. So it was not an easy game for the club of Arsenal. And I knew that Everton would obviously make it hard. A team placed 8th on the Premier League table wanted to obviously see to it that they really put Arsenal to another tensive moment of really maybe dropping 2-1 or 0 points in there for you in this particular game. But Arsenal came up and obviously made a win, and they obviously made what we call juice out of a stone. Guys, if you never watched that game, you won't really understand why I'm saying that Arsenal went ahead to make juice out of a stone. The game ended in a nervy way, and guys, Arsenal fans were all losing hope in the Emirates, and the only person I saw who was really giving them hope was Mikel Arteta, telling them like this, go and attack. And through the attacks, Arsenal managed to get 2 goals. But Max Dowman, remember the name, and who is sponsoring this video? This video is powered by St. Maria Goret SS Katende, right? They are dealers. So no, this is a school. They're not dealers. It's a school, and admissions for O and L level are open. You can call them on +256 702 478 536 in there for you. Or you can email them on that email, or you can as well go out and obviously visit their website, and there is a link that you will obviously go ahead and really apply Obviously, after applying, they will obviously receive your application and they'll tell you whether your child qualifies or not. Rokani David is my name. Rokani Media Football it is. And let's get deep into dissecting this beautiful game of football that really happened today. Now, I want to be on record. You know, I've said on this channel several times that when Max Dowman doesn't really get a setback in his growth, you know, in his trajectory of his footballing curve, he's gonna be the first choice right attacking midfielder of Arsenal. If you've been watching this channel, I think I've gone ahead to make that, you know, I've gone ahead to obviously come out and obviously speak out that loud, not so? And you now believe in me. I told you the truth, and that is it. The guy is out of this world. He is special. He is special. That is Max Dowman in there for you. And he is the match winner. He's the reason as to why Arsenal went ahead to collect 3 points from the game of Everton. Because Saka couldn't produce a moment of magic. Kai Havertz couldn't. Zubimendi couldn't. Declan Rice couldn't. Set pieces had failed the club of Arsenal because they got them in plenty. And I remember in the match preview, I told you that Everton is one of those teams that has gone ahead to concede the least number of goals from set pieces. That is Everton for you. What does that mean? That they're obviously doing the needful, and it's a hard team to obviously break down. Not so? That is Everton for you. And a team that has gone ahead to obviously score the most number of set pieces, 16 this season, was meeting a side that had gone ahead to obviously concede the least number of goals. This number of goals from set pieces, meaning that they defend set pieces very well. And you've seen it, you know, they've gone ahead to defend the set pieces really, really well. And that is the side of Everton. Now, Arsenal came into this game of football knowing that when they win, they're 10 points clear. And they are indeed 10 points clear. But first half, it wasn't easy. Everton brought their A game, and even Arsenal brought their A game. And the creativity of Arsenal was really lacking a player with a spark of either Gabriel Jesus or Max Dowman. And of the two, the manager was like, let me get on Max Dowman in there to surprise this team. And obviously, those are what we call Sir Alex Ferguson tactics. If you watched Manchester United, Sir Alex Ferguson had that. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson could leave a profiled player on the bench and bring on a youngster like Danny Welbeck, there is Campbell, and That guy known as Federico Makeda, who helped Man United come on and obviously win 2 games. The game of Aston Villa, where he scored the winner, and the game of Southampton, I think, where he scored the winner. In the last 4 games, he won 2 games for the club of Man United. Where are the players that we all knew to it that could obviously open up the defenses of the teams that we are playing couldn't? And this youngster Federico Makeda came on and did the needful. And Mikel Arteta has taken that risk again today. And guess what? His bench had the following players, and he left them there, especially Gabriel Jesus. It requires a manager to be very brave, and a thick-skinned to obviously bring on Max Dowman and leave Gabriel Jesus on the bench. Because when you look at that side of Arsenal, the most experienced player when it comes to winning the Premier League is Gabriel Jesus. He has won it many times with Man City, and he has gone ahead to decide to score very many deciding goals for that team to obviously lift the trophy. You understand? So that means the club of Arsenal is really, really, really gifted having a very huge bench. But the manager was like, I'm going Max Dowman. That is it. I'm going Max Dowman. And indeed, Max Dowman never disappointed. When he came onto the pitch, you saw something different that I've always gone ahead to let you know that he will be the first choice right attacking midfielder or right forward for the club of Arsenal because of how he plays. Arsenal doesn't have a player who is like Max Dowman, especially when it comes to taking off players. He really takes off every player that is in his reach. In his way, he does the needful. And when he's not to eat that, they've gone ahead to master the art of obviously marking him. Guess what Max Dowman did? He was like, let me go in for a cross, and that cross came in through, and that first goal that opened up that defense of Everton was a combination of 3 players who came off the bench. Remember, Hinkapie came on from the bench. You understand? Even Gyökeres came off from the bench. Gabriel Martinelli came off from the bench. The other player was Max Dowman came off the bench, and Gyökeres also came off the bench. So that goal was a combination of 4 players that came off the bench and put in a very huge shift in there for you. And in which minutes did the manager obviously go ahead to obviously bring on these players? The manager took off. Julian Timber went off when he was injured, and Mosquera came in through in the first half. But second half, 61st minute, Kai Havertz was off. Victor Gyökeres, who opened up the scoreline, came on. That was a double substitution. 61st minute, Noni Madueke off, and Gabriel Martinelli came on. Then 74th minute, the manager took off Martin Zubimendi and brought on Max Dowman. That was really very brave. Then 74th minute, the manager went ahead to bring on Pierre Hinkapie. Now, the last 2 players that the manager brought on went ahead to combine to obviously score or really get Arsenal the opener. And it was Max Dowman into the mixer, teasing ball. Goalkeeper missed out on it. I don't know how he went ahead to miss out on it. It landed into the vicinity of Martinelli and Hinkapie. Hinkapie, I think he thied it into the mouth of the goal. And guess what happened? Gyökeres, the number 9 who knows where to be when such balls are really coming in the box, went ahead to obviously gate a ball on his plate, and obviously he went ahead to tap that ball in the back of the net, and he did the celebration. That is it. So we're getting Arsenal the win in the 89th minute, and everyone was like, it might end in there. And Max Dowman had obviously gone ahead to obviously put in a very beautiful cross that resulted into a goal, and that was the secondary assist for Max Dowman and an assist for a player known as Pierre Hinkapie. Everton went ahead to attack in the added minutes, and they were like, we want something. We want something from this game. And Arsenal was like, all right, we are going to defend for our lives to obviously get in 3 points. And guess what happened? In the 90th plus 6 minute, even the goalkeeper comes in through to do what we call the goal scoring in the corner. Bring in a corner, it's headed out. Martinelli heads it in the vicinity of Max Dowman, and Max Dowman went ahead to really skip past 1-2 players After skipping past those players, do you know what went ahead to happen? Max Dowman went ahead to beat the last defender and went ahead to face the net that was really empty because the player had obviously gone ahead to put out a very, very huge shift in as far as looking for goal for the club of for the club of Everton was really concerned. And Max Dowman went ahead to obviously score an empty net. And that goal really sent the crowd of Arsenal into what we call a very, very, very exciteful moment. You know, they really saw a young star do the needful and do the magic for the first goal. And for the second one, he skipped past 1, 2, 3 players and went ahead to score that goal. And guess what? He has obviously gone ahead to make a record. At 16 years and 73 days, Max Dowman has become the youngest scorer in the Premier League history. And I've warned you about this lad, you know, and the other one at Man United is called Shia Lacy, you know, and there is Gabriel Jesus. So those lads are really special, and in the coming seasons, they're obviously gonna be those players that you have to watch and obviously give a lot of attention to detail as far as this is concerned. But I want to let you know that good performance for Max Dowman, game changer. You always need such players to come on and obviously do the needful and obviously change the game, because if you don't have them, then how will you obviously come up and obviously change the game, you know? And I would like to give credit to Mikel Arteta because he really took a gamble. He really left Gabriel Jesus on the bench, and he has done it, by the way, many games in here. And I think it's one of those moments that I believe are not good for the manager. Sorry, for the player. And it looks like he has gone ahead to fall out with one of the players he signed when he really loved him from the side, known as Manchester City in there. So that is Mikel Arteta for you, you know, putting out a very huge show in there. And his players have gone ahead to obviously bail him out, I tell you. You know, if he had gone ahead to lose this game or really drop points, everyone will be like, including me, how do you bring on Max Dowman and you let the most experienced player when it comes to the Premier League on the bench, you know, and you leave him on the bench? That is Gabriel Jesus. But he has gone ahead, obviously, shut us all down, you know, and indeed, it really went in the favor of Mikel Arteta. Victor Gyökeres, I think he now has scored his 11th goal, you know, and the lad is really on fire, and not many has he gone ahead to score at the stadium of not many has he gone ahead to score at the stadium of Emirates. Most of his goals he has gone ahead to score them away from home, but today he has gone ahead to net in his 11th goal in the Premier League season. And I told you he can hit 20 goals in this season, because we know the number of games that Arsenal is left with. Arsenal is left with 7 games, and in those 7 games there is no way you tell me that he cannot obviously go ahead and obviously score those remaining 9 goals. He can, because he is really on fire, and confidence is really building up for the player, and it was really nice to obviously know that. Now let's go through the stats of the game. Arsenal had 22 shots, Everton had 9, 6 shots on target by the club of Arsenal, and Everton had 3 shots on target. 65% ball possession by Arsenal. Everton had 35% ball possession, and Arsenal had 528 passes completed. Then Everton had 303, 91% passing accuracy by Arsenal. Then Everton had 76% passing accuracy. 11 fouls by Arsenal, 12 fouls by Everton. 0 yellow cards to both sides. I like the referee. He never really issued any yellow card to any player. The same applies to the red cards. They never really went ahead to see any team really getting a red card. Then also 2 offsides for Arsenal, 1 offside for Everton, 8 corners for Arsenal, and 3 corners to the side of Everton. That is it. So Arsenal has gone ahead to obviously win yet another important game, and these are what we call the decisive moments of the trophy, and all signs are showing they are not obviously gonna stop. Now let's get to the table, and you guys know where is Arsenal and where are the others. Now When you look at that table that I've gone ahead to obviously float on the screen, Arsenal has played 31 games and they've gone ahead to win 21. They've drawn 7, they've lost 3. And I tell you what, Arsenal has scored 61 goals, they've conceded 22, and they're having a goal difference of 39. They've gone ahead to collect 70 points in there, meaning that Arsenal is left with a total of 7 games to play. You get 7 games to play. That's what Arsenal is left with, and in those 7 games, Arsenal has to play Man City. So if Arsenal wins 5 of those games and they draw with Man City, the trophy is theirs. You get Man City, 29 games, 2 games in hand, and they're playing against West Ham tonight. They're having 60 points. Arsenal's gone ahead to obviously stretch their lead to 10 points, and Man City is obviously going to be going in there with a huge pressure, I tell you. 3 minutes from now, the game of football of City will be on. Then Man United is third, playing tomorrow against Aston Villa. Obviously, 51 points. Aston Villa and United are playing tomorrow. So whoever wins goes third in there for you. Chelsea has played today and they're having 30 games and they're having 48 points. That means they've gone ahead to obviously maybe lose in there for you. So that's how the table is really looking like. And Man City is going to be taking center stage today in the Premier League. Arsenal cruising all the way to the trophy, and as I predicted at the beginning of the season, I was like, it's gonna be theirs. It's gonna be theirs, and indeed, they're really fighting for their lives. Not the beautiful display, not very convincing, but what I can confirm to you is that a team known as Arsenal has found a way, or has maneuvered their way to winning this game of football. And Chelsea have gone ahead to lose to Newcastle by 1-0 in there for you. So we wait for what United and Aston Villa obviously going to be doing, because Man United has a chance to obviously go 6 points clear ahead of a team known as Chelsea that had obviously gone ahead, obviously try to put in a very beautiful shift in there for you. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokani David is my name. Arsenal 2, Everton 0. Max Dowman, the hero of the game. And it will be remembered that he is the youngest player to ever score a goal in the Premier League. At 16 years and 72 days, Max Dowman has today netted his first Premier League goal, and indeed, he is a generational talent that you need to obviously look at, and he will obviously live his dream. Thank you guys for watching through. Continue to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers. So please go ahead and really subscribe, and you will thank me later. I'm out. Bye-bye. And it's not yet done, because after this video, I'll be bringing you that of Man City versus West Ham away in the London Stadium. Whoever wins, whoever loses, whoever draws, I'll be here to record that video and present it to you, the viewers of this beautiful channel that is the Rokani Media Football. We out.